Upcoming series, especially designed for veterans and caregivers of veterans. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Colleen Kripstekis with AARP Florida, and I'm also a U.S. Army veteran. So it is my honor to thank our veterans, military, and their families today for their service and their sacrifice. One of our missions here at AARP Florida is to help connect veterans and caregivers with a support system in their community to help them on their journey after military service. We know that this is already a challenge, and in a time of a pandemic, some of you may be facing an even greater uphill battle. Recognizing this, we've connected with two ladies who are rich with knowledge on veterans and caregiving. Let me begin by introducing our first guest, Sonia Quijada of Q Wellness, a 28-year Army veteran, yoga instructor, and resilience trainer. Welcome, Sonia.
Thank you, Colleen. Hello, everyone. I'm Sonia with Q Wellness, and it's my pleasure to be here today to talk to you about an exciting upcoming 3-part program we have, especially for our military veterans and those who care for them. Those hidden heroes, as the Elizabeth Dole Foundation calls them so appropriately. I'll be going over a couple types of yoga that could be just what you need, some wellness resilience practices and skills to help you, and a brief meditation to give you a better understanding of its benefits and how it can help you, our honorable veterans and those who care for them. And speaking of caring for our heroes, I want to introduce my fellow guest speaker, Patty, who has been a caregiver for her dad, a Marine Corps veteran from the Vietnam era. Patty will preview here what she'll be sharing with us in 2 weeks during our November 11th Veterans Day special session. Welcome, Patty.
Hi, how are you? Great to be here. Thanks for having me. As Sonia said, I've been a caregiver for my dad for about 10 years, and since his Alzheimer's diagnosis, and he has some other significant health issues. But being a veteran, we thankfully got connected to the VA and was able to get help at home. So I kind of lighten my load by having some nurses come in daily and help us at home. So I hope to share my expertise, I should say, or my hands-on experience on how to get home health, as well as some of the other tips and tricks that I discovered and maneuvered around the VA. So Sonia, being a caregiver does present a lot of challenges for us, especially if, we're working or, raising a family. And so my dad, mom and dad, were living with me. And so luckily I was able to kind of keep all the support close to home. But there was a lot of challenge, and especially caregivers of veterans, navigating the system is difficult. So any help we can give would be beneficial to anybody. There are a lot of financial and health tolls that I experienced over my 10-year journey as a caregiver for my dad. And I think there are a lot of ways the folks at the VA and other nonprofits can help caregivers who are going through something similar as me. And I hope to share my wisdom with folks on how to care for yourself, fill your tank first, and so you can help care for others. So I'm looking forward to this series. I think that it would be absolutely beneficial. I wish it was available, at the beginning of my caregiver journey, and so I can learn how to better take care of myself. But I'm going to give it back to you, Sonia, but I look forward to talking to everybody on November 11th. And I'm going to share my top 3 things that I learned about being a caregiver for the veterans on November 11th. Back to you.
Thanks. This is powerful and heavy and deep and important stuff. And that's why we want you, AARP Florida viewers and membership, we really want you to tune in for these next 3 weeks, especially on Wednesday, the 11th, Veterans Day, that Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. AARP Florida will be giving this special interactive engagement seminar to answer some of your questions and to share all that we know, because it is a difficult journey, either in being a veteran and in our recovery, in our lifestyle, but certainly in being a caregiver for a veteran at any age. It is an additional duty. It's a heavy responsibility. It's a work of heart. And that makes it so difficult to choose between the time we have in the day for our self-care, our well-care, our wellness, and then the taking care of those within our household, within our family, within our nest. And those are tough choices to make. And so that is why AARP Florida has teamed up with us and asked us to come here and talk to you. As a wellness professional, as a resilience coach, I know what this is about. I've seen the effects in the people that I work with, in the groups that I talk to, in the organizations that I serve. And it can be difficult, it can be heavy, it can feel isolating, it can be lonely, it can be demoralizing, it can be a frustrating, painful road. And as Patty said, she wished she'd known earlier on in her journey, in her caretaking and caregiving, some of the resources, some of the help that's out there, some of the support, some of the programs that exist specifically to assist, to bolster, to connect, to ease your way. And so this is going to be really special. We hope you tune in. It's in 2 weeks, Wednesday the 11th, and that's when Patty Shea will be back with me here. We will also have some special guests from the Caregiver Wellness Collective and from the Seniors in Service organization. So it's interesting because the National Alliance for Caregiving and AARP created a special report called Caregiving in the U.S. 2020. And this comprehensive report is the most recent update in the trend research. It shows that across the United States, caregiving has increased across households and families in the United States from 9.5 million in 2015, because the research and polling happens about every 5 years. So in 2015, across the United States, there were about 9.5 million family caregivers. That sounds like a lot. But now in 2020, we have more than 1 in 5 Americans are a family caregiver, of a caregiver of some sort, to veterans and to others. So the other part that is tragic, but it's hard news, and now we know, and let's do something about it. The 2020 study reveals that family caregivers are in worse health than ever before, because your engines have been running nonstop, without service and maintenance, without rest. You're taking on more. You're doing more with less, as the Army used to tell me. We do more with less. And it's enduring, and it's exhausting, and it wears you out. That's why AARP Florida specifically has asked me to provide you with a couple special events. And they are next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then in 3 weeks, the 18th, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We invite you to join in for some yoga and guided meditation. It will be about 30 minutes, 45 minutes with question and answer. It's intended to be an open platform for your engagement, that you can chat, use the chat box to give us your questions, or unmute your microphone, raise your hand, and join us and ask what you'd like, or share what you have and how this is helping you, or what we can do to help you even more. AARP Florida is very vested in the members and those of you who are caregivers. We, as Patty mentioned, you have to feed yourself first, right? You have to fuel your own engine as the emergency safety protocol says anytime you fly on an airplane, put your own mask on first so that then you can take care of someone else. Because if you are the one whom others rely upon and depend upon, then you are the one to take care of yourself. And if you don't do it, who will? And if you don't do it and you're so run down, then those who are counting on you or those who need you can't function either, as you are not operating at full speed or at healthy speed. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has lots of resources for caregiver support. And so between all of these collaborations and fabulous programs and foundations and organizations and government agencies, we're going to give you information, references, places to go, people to help, and just some few breaths to rest to take it all in. So first today, and I'll mention it again each time I talk because it's what I love, my neuroscience background, I can't talk without bringing in some of the science. Neuroscience, the study of the brain, right? But then also how our body functions, what happens in our miracle called the human body with stress. Stress affects our chemistry. It affects our acidity and alkaline levels. It affects our inflammation. It affects our digestion system. It affects our endocrine system. It affects our immune system. It affects how our brain perceives the world, which means also how we process thoughts and emotions. And that's why stress can lead to depression. That's why stress leads to anxiety. That's why stress leads to unease or dis-ease or disease. And chronic stress takes a toll. It's like rust on the undercarriage of an automobile. If you've ever lived in a northern state where there's snow or salt on the roads that creates that, if you don't take care of it, your carriage, your chassis rusts away. It just goes, and then you can't function. So stress is something that we can actually change. And that's what neuroplasticity, the science behind the body, tells us, that we can actually affect our blood pressure, our heart rate, our body chemistry, our immune system, our hormones, our attitude, our brain neural pathways and function. We can affect it with some simple choices of how we sit, what we focus on, and how we breathe. So just right now, since you've joined in for these few minutes, I'd like you to join me in a simple technique called stress release breathing. Some people know it as box breathing. Some people know it just as pace count breath. And so settle in wherever you are watching. Please just take a nice, comfortable seat and then sit upright. So as in you're sitting tall, raise your ribs up away from your waist. Check your chin, perhaps kind of settle in, sitting up as tall as you can at the table. And settle into your body. Rest your hands on your lap. Now, inhale through the nose. Inhale to the count of 4. All the way up until you're full. Now pause and hold it for the count of 4. And exhale, blow it all out for that same count of 4. Wait for the count of 4 and do it again. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold it for the count of 4. Exhale for the count of 4. Pause for the count of 4. Do it again. Keep breathing. Your pace, your 4 count. Up the side of the box, across the top of the box, down the other side of the box, across the bottom of the box. This is us tracing the box with the breath, 4 counts on each side. When we do breath work to change our body, it takes 2 minutes to create new pathways in the brain. 3 minutes is better. but at least 2 minutes of focused breath or focused calm or focused sitting, also called mindfulness, just being present, paying attention to where you are, to what you're doing. Take big, deep breaths enough that you feel your belly move like a balloon. You breathe into the belly, and then you breathe into the chest, and you breathe up into the throat. This full, big capacity, and then you hold it, let it all out, push it all out, and pause. This is, well, in the military, it's often called tactical breathing. For the TBI, traumatic brain injury clinics, and some of the PTSD resilience programs that I've worked with, we also call it box breathing. Thank you. Thank you for trying it. Thank you for at least listening to me, even if you didn't try it, but perhaps I've lured your brain into being curious, and you might give it a try when you watch this again on the Facebook page with AARP Florida or the YouTube channel, or when you think about it and remember that it could benefit you in so many ways. All right, now, next week, we're going to do chair yoga, and to relieve some of your stress through physical body movement. There's so much research and science that shows that just moving the body physically, you don't even have to sweat, but just moving our human body helps relieve stress. It helps relieve the blockages in our brain and what we have happening in our emotions of heart or in our tension and that we're holding into our muscles, because the molecules of emotion reside in this human body and we have to get it out. The animal kingdom teaches us that. You see animals shake it off, and there's a reason for that. It actually helps. It actually changes what's going on, and it resets the parasympathetic nervous system, or the central nervous system, I should say, because the sympathetic nervous system tells us to either fight something off when we have stress, or we flee, right? Flight or fight. And then there's also freeze, where we just ignore it, right? Just we hide in it. We just are still until it passes. Those are all fabulous techniques for responding to long ago caveman stressors or living out in the country stressors. However, everyday current modern life technology and lifestyle community 2020 stressors aren't quite the same, but the effects in our body are the same. Chronic stress, that stress of worry, that stress of obligation, that stress of responsibility, that stress of exhaustion, that stress of demand. Those are all stressors, and they build up in our system, they build up in our brain, and our brain treats it the same way as an actual live attack upon us. So our system responds over and over again, so much so that we're out of whack. And that's why body movement, just shake it. Try it right now. Just shake a little. Shake your hands in the air. Shake your arms down low. Just wiggle a little. Shake, shake, shake. Take a big breath. We're going to do some of that next week in chair yoga. Let me tell you, I got off track sometimes. We will be doing this 45-minute presentation next week. It'll be about 30 minutes of movement, body movement for veterans and caregivers. This class uses a chair to help everyone and anyone, no matter what your age or ability. This class will help strengthen core muscles, improve back health, and explore your hip mobility, because that's where a lot of us have low back pain and pelvis hip issues, whether it's injury or age, that happens. And so that's why we're going to use a chair to help us get there, to help us access the body parts and the movement that we need to breathe and to get circulation into those stuck spots. This class is especially good if you have physical limitations. That is one of my specialties, adaptive yoga, for people who can't move all of the body parts or who might not have all of the body parts or the original body parts. Or maybe not original. If you did not have all of the body parts, this is a class for you. So please give it a try. This class is definitely for everyone who sits most of the day. But this class is also what you need if you're an exhausted caregiver. And here's the huge irony. When you're exhausted, the last thing that sounds good is physical movement because you're just so exhausted. And I get that. I truly understand. So instead, I will remind you that much like a rheumatologist would tell someone with arthritis, when you feel least like moving, that's actually when you need most to do it. Motion is lotion. And we need to get the stress out. We need to release it. We need to get circulation going and goodness and healing energy throughout our system. So join me next week for this. This chair yoga class is not a gentle class. It's not a quiet snooze class. We will work up a sweat just from sitting in the chair. You will be amazed and it'll be so good. Your core will love you. Your back will love you. Your hips will be happy. We will use major muscle groups that benefit us for wellness at any age. With my injuries, I have some significant injuries. I am a combat veteran and a former paratrooper. And so every class that I teach is a creaky, clunky experience. So join me for some fun as we grunt and groan our way into better health. You will need a straight chair or folding chair or your wheelchair with brakes on. You'll want a foam yoga block or a full roll of toilet paper, which we know has become extra popular these last months. You'll want a folded blanket or a sturdy bath towel, not those squishy, super soft, fluffy ones, something that gives you actually some shape. If you need to sit up a little taller, then you want that. And you'll want a dish towel from the kitchen, a clean one. And we're going to use that for helping us grip as we work in shoulder rotation, which really also helps release neck pain and upper back, mid-back stiffness. So even if you're skeptical, and I know a lot of people are when they've never tried this before, but just try it out. Just show up out of curiosity. Even if you just practice the yoga of observation, come watch, come see, come give it a try, come, well, I dare you. Come on, it'll be good. And then on Veterans Day, as we've mentioned, the 11th, Patty will be returning to share her resiliency and wellness tips for veterans and caregivers. She'll share her lessons learned to help you with your resources, and I'll teach you some quick tools of self-care that you can use to manage your stress daily. You won't want to miss this special interactive live event. You will be encouraged to open your microphone or type in the chat box and ask any question. We'll tell you what we know, and we'll bring some fabulous folks along from the Caregivers Wellness Collective and the Seniors in Service organizations to add to this rich discussion. Put that on your calendar. In 2 weeks, the 11th, Veterans Day. And then our third event in this program, in this series with AARP Florida, is on Wednesday the 18th, also at 4 p.m. Eastern. And it will be, you won't want to miss this. This is going to be a delicious 30-minute guided meditation nap time for veterans and caregivers. It's called I Rest Yoga Nidra. It's very popular. You can probably, if you haven't heard of it before, give an internet search or check it out. We've done a few sessions with I Rest Yoga Nidra and AARP Florida, so it's on their Facebook site and their YouTube channel. Come to this one. This one's going to be super delicious. I Rest Yoga Nidra has used the science research to provide the evidence that shows you how this guided meditation actually calms the brain and reduces anxiety. Walter Reed National Military Medical Center and the VA medical centers use I Rest Yoga Nidra in their PTSD and traumatic brain injury recovery clinics. So for anyone with ongoing stress, like long-term caregivers, like veterans, I Rest Yoga Nidra has been scientifically proven to nourish the brain with similar benefits to sleeping well. So you won't want to miss this opportunity. This is not a sweaty, unlike the chair yoga class, this is not sweaty. This is peaceful. This is going to be quiet and still. You are, come as you are, wear the clothes that you wear or your pajamas that you're wearing, whatever you want to show up when at 4 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon. You get this opportunity to lie back and doze while you listen to me talking and guiding you. Your brain chatter can take a break. Your stress levels will calm down. your body can rest. It's truly amazing how we can affect the central nervous system and allow our bodies to heal. You'll tune in that week from your device that you can hear while you lie down in your recliner or your sofa or your bed with your head propped up and your back supported comfortably, maybe with a pillow under your knees or a cushion behind your back. Have a blanket ready to cover yourself as you relax and your body temperature drops a little. If you have an eye mask or an eye pillow, you'll want to use it. Turn up the volume so you can hear me, but mute your microphone so we don't hear you snoring. This is all good stuff for you, and we are so excited at AARP Florida to be able to bring this to you. I hope this gives you an idea of the fabulous events coming up. You will want to sign up for all 3 of them. We really appreciate you joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you at one or all 3 of these free sessions in November. I'm excited to be able to meet with you online, and I thank you for your service. All of you who have served and paved the way before me or carried the mission alongside me. And my deepest appreciation to all the caregivers, you hidden heroes who stand by us and nurture us with absolute love. I salute you.
Thanks, Sonia. We really are looking forward to this special weekly series. You can sign up for the class by visiting our AARP Florida Facebook events page or visit aarp.org/FL, and we will send you a Zoom link the day of the event so you can join the session. Also, if you want to learn more about how AARP can help veterans, military, and their families, from topics including caregiving to protecting you from fraud, to work and jobs, be sure to visit aarp.org/veterans. We have a whole bunch of stuff coming up this November for our, including virtual job fair webinars on November 17th to a whole lot more around caregiving. So be sure to visit that website to find out more. And thanks again for joining us today. And for all of you who have served, continue to serve, and those who care for those service members who have fought our nation's battles, thank you.